You can share it from my page or from the one you shared. I saw that you shared it earlier.
Is this going to be live though on your page, so they'll be able to see it on your page, and then I can share it to my page?
Yes. Yes, they'll see it live on your page. And actually, we just went live, so they are with us.
She has strong will to live.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Share Your Light. I'm so honored and ready to be blessed by Tom Zuba, an author, best-selling author of Permission to Mourn, a grief book, a book in the grief community that so many people know about. So many people have used this as a book to gift to others to help them understand the feelings that they're going through in the grief process. And then a couple of years ago, Tom wrote book 2, which is called Becoming Radiant. And these 2 books are amazing for a person who's dealing with grief. I've read both of them in the last couple of weeks. Permission to Mourn has the subtitle, A New Way to Do Grief. Becoming Radiant has the subtitle, A New Way to Do Life. And as I'm going through this process, for those of you who are new to my page, 18 months ago, I lost my 17-year-old son, lost the physical presence of Damani, but I definitely still feel him here with me. And I know that energy cannot be destroyed, and that the light that was put in him when he was created cannot be destroyed. And that is where the title Share Your Light came from. A few days after Damani passed, we did a candlelight vigil. Actually, I didn't plan it. His friends planned it and reached out and asked for permission to hold this candlelight vigil at the boardwalk, which is by the lake here in our community where Damani went and hung out with his friends all the time. And so when we went, and as we lit the candles, it lit a light in me that said that he wasn't gone as long as we continued to keep his legacy alive and share the light that he shared with me. So that's what keeps me going. A lot of people tell me that I'm doing a lot, and, to take care of me, but taking care of me is keeping Damani's light alive. The days that I lay in bed or, don't do anything, yes, I need to take those days to rest, but those are the days that I feel him nudging me to get up and do more, get up and serve and make every day that I'm here mean something, make every day that I'm here count. Because Damani was a bright light and he shared his light with so many people while he was here. And he shared his light with me. I definitely would not be who I am today had I not been blessed with being able to be his mom and having him in my life for 17 beautiful years. So welcome to Share Your Light. Welcome, Tom Zuba. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to getting to experience your bright, bright, bright light.
Thank you. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I watched one of your videos, and I've been meditating a lot even before this happened to me, I was very much into meditation and mindfulness, but I never had a singing bowl. But I saw one of your videos and I ordered the singing bowl the next day, and I absolutely love it. Mine was not, it says it's handcrafted, but I know yours, your dad actually went to Tibet and bought it. Is that correct?
No, he actually got it from a woman who has a shop who went to Nepal and got it.
Okay. Well, I ordered mine on Amazon, but I definitely feel the benefits of it. And I can tell some days when my energy is not quite right, it doesn't want to sing as loudly. Have you noticed that?
I know. I just watched today the video of you doing the singing bowl, and I thought, you have perfected the arts. You have mastered it much more so than me. So I just bow to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and keep it in the camera frame. I love it, and I'm just gonna let it raise my vibrations, and hopefully everyone's vibrations watching as we channel our energy, heal our chakras, and call our loved ones here with us. Wow. That was beautiful. That was different. Thank you. Thank you for always sharing tips and tools like the tip for the singing bowl. And also, to back up a little bit, when I first came across your page, there was another mom who shared one of your videos. I think you were standing in the kitchen and you were telling your story. And I think that, the questions that we ask ourselves are so hard, especially in the early days of grief. And I was blaming myself for what happened with my son and feeling so much guilt. And the guilt was killing me. His absence was killing me, but I think the guilt was even worse, And you said, I did the best I could with what I knew. And as I repeated those words, I just started to cry as I tried to forgive myself for what I did not know. My son passed suddenly. There was no warning signs. I went to work. He went to practice. I came home expecting to see him, and he collapsed, and I had to do CPR on him. And it was very difficult because I felt like I should have noticed something. I was his mother, they were gifted to us, so we're the protectors. We're supposed to be able to keep them safe. And when I couldn't, I didn't. I felt like I didn't deserve to be here anymore. And repeating, I did the best I could with what I knew, helped me release the guilt. And I know there's probably a lot of people, who still have those moments because it comes, it's a battle. Like you say, healing is a journey, it's a process. And some days that voice tries to creep back in and I have to repeat it again and again and again. When those thoughts come up. Before we get into your story, I want people to go ahead and share with us that they're here. Say hello, hello, hello. Tell us where you're coming from and also who your loved one is. Who is the person that you love so dearly that you want to remember their presence and call their presence here with us. I see Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten. And Logan. Logan is her baby boy. Kathleen. Kathleen, please tell us who your baby is. Kiona. Kiona also has experienced multiple loss, Tom, so I hope we can touch on that. She lost 2 children, an 11-year-old Elijah and Chloe, her 5-year-old, just last year. Darlene. Hello, Darlene. Hi, Jill. Hi, Jewel. Jewel, her son Zeke Upshaw, he was in the G League of the NBA. Jewel is actually from Chicago as well, and she lost her son Zeke 3 years ago. Darlene, your son Justin and your husband Alan, so another multiple loss. Thank you. And we'll get into that word loss. I guess we can, as you introduce yourself, you can talk about that. I just posted a quote where you said that you realized that she was not lost, but it was you that was lost and not so much anymore. So that awakening actually helped you to realize the reality that we're living in. Oh, Zeke, it was 2 years ago. Kathleen, I am Stella and Bill's daughter, Richard's sister. Blessings to you, Kathleen. Yes, Kirsten, your son, Logan. Catherine, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming from Annapolis, and thank you all for your time. Tom, go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are. I know you asked me who I am. Who is Tom Zuba?
I want to add one little detail first. I feel like I'm going to look at you this way, but when I look at you this way, I think on the camera, does it look like I'm looking away from you?
Now you're looking at me. Yeah, the other way you're looking away. Yeah.
So here I'm looking at you, and I'm actually looking away from you. So I just want everyone to know it's not like I'm ignoring you. I'm going to try to do it from a straight.
Yes.
So who am I? It's a great question. I am an old soul who remarkably made the most fascinating agreement in the presence of the divine. And that agreement was that I would come to the planet to experience really inexplicable, undescribable pain due initially to the death of my little brother Danny when I was 6, the death of my 18-month-old daughter Erin in 1990, the death of my 43-year-old wife Trish in 1999, and then unbelievably the death by brain cancer of my 13-year-old son Rory in 2005. I have been in the deepest, darkest, seemingly bottomless, hopeless pit of despair 3 times. I have strongly considered suicide. I have prayed and prayed and prayed that I would not wake up. Many days over many years. And I've had the most amazing life. When my daughter died, the night after she died, I remember laying on the rug in our living room, thinking I'm going to go into the kitchen and grab a knife and stab Trish and stab me. And then I heard a little voice that said, or you could live, or you could live, or you could live. And I went back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. And for that minute, I decided I was going to live. And that is a decision that I have made many times. And what I've consciously tried to do is feed that little flicker and let it grow and let it grow and let it grow. And I'm happy to report that on August 20th of 2020, it is a freaking bonfire. I'm so grateful to be alive. I know exactly why I came. And I'm grateful. I'm mostly grateful. I'm mostly grateful for everything that I've experienced. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher that came here to teach people a new way to do grief. And by doing grief a new way, we can live life a new way. I don't for a minute believe that any of us came to this planet to suffer. That's not why we came. But we have free will, so we can suffer as long as we want. I actually believe we came to be radiant, bright light. Actually, to be the radiant, bright lights that we have always been. Most of us have forgotten.
Wow. Wow. That bright light that we all have in us that can't be extinguished, not even by death. Not even by death.
And when we honestly look at a 12-month-old or an 18-month-old or a 24-month-old, they haven't forgotten that they came from light. They came from love. They're aware of it. They love themselves. They love being alive. They're fascinated by everything. And what life does, what broken people do, is we pile our stuff on those little children. Then they go to school and get more stuff piled on and more stuff and more stuff, and the light gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. People forget who they are. They feel like they're broken. My job is to help people remove all the stuff and remember, oh, I've always been. And that's one of the things that I recognized in you in the very first time I saw you. Your voice, your way of being in the world. You are light. You are.
Thank you. Thank you. And definitely I feel and I receive the light that you're sending out as well. and that Aaron and Rory and Trish. I mean, I feel it. I feel that I'm trying to embrace, like you're saying, that this is like you're a teacher. I was a teacher. I still am a teacher. I've been a coach, and I know that a part of my purpose is to help people and give back in whatever way that is for me. But to see you, and the losses, I didn't even know that you had sibling loss or grief as well. To experience so many different levels of it, it does prepare you to help people in a way that no one else can, because I don't want to get advice from someone on how to heal from something that they have no inkling of what it really feels like. So, yeah, sometimes it's like, why us? But if it didn't happen to you, then you would not be helping the thousands of people that you are helping. So I appreciate you giving back.
Thank you. Thank you. The question, why us? If we really, really explore that, number one, why not us? And number two, are we in this alone? Are we in this alone? I believe in something that people call God. I believe in that.
Right.
The God that I believe in doesn't care what I call him, her, it, they. Some people call it the force. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it the higher power. This was my dad. The same guy that gave me the singing bowl. This was my dad. I literally believe that I am always, always, always being held by love itself. So, yes, my daughter died, and my wife died, and my son died, and my brother died, and my father died a year ago. This force that I call God held me through all of it. All of it. I was never abandoned. There wasn't a blip in the program. A mistake wasn't made. I believe that the hairs on my head are numbered. I believe that God knows how many breaths I'm going to take. I might not like the way it unfolded, but mistakes were not made. That is deeply rooted in my understanding of what my God is. It brings me incredible peace.
Wow. Wow, no mistakes were made. And really, like you said in the books, that there was nothing we could have done to change what happened. You
The
believe
God,
that?
the God that I believe in doesn't make mistakes. The God that I believe in, I mean, cares for the sparrow. The God that I believe in never took his eye off of me, didn't take his eye off of Aaron or Trish or Rory or my brother. No mistakes were made. I'm not powerful enough to change the mind of God. To me, that's the ultimate insult, that I know better than God. No, I don't. I surrender to the mystery of all of it. And I believe that when I go home, it'll all be crystal clear. I'll go, now it makes sense. Yes, of course. Of course.
And so in your book, you talked about the beliefs that we're holding on to and evaluating if they're causing us more pain. So if someone feels like the question, is healing possible? Us believing that it's not possible with that concept is going to just lead to more pain, correct?
Absolutely. We are so powerful that what we believe on a conscious level or a subconscious level, we are creating that with every breath we take. And most people live their life asleep. Their subconscious controls absolutely everything. And they think they're victim. and that life isn't fair and they can never get a break, and on and on and on and on. We are literally co-creating every moment of our life. And so I want to co-create it consciously. Yes, I believe healing is possible. I'm living proof.
Right. And for you to say that healing is possible, and not only is it possible that you are feeling like you're living a full, happy life. Again, like right before we came on, you said you want to live to 100, and I don't see too many grieving parents. Like for me, sometimes living 20 years is like a lot to think about.
This is what is hard to explain to some people.
Hold on one second, we're having some feedback. Hello, testing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, yes.
So I firmly, it's not that I believe this, I experience this, that my wife, my daughter, my son, they are to the left of me, to the right of me, above me, below me, in front of me, behind me. Literally, you are meeting them with and through me right now. They didn't leave me. They're not lost. I'm not alone. They are right here. They are closer to me than they have ever been. My wife is more present on a moment by moment basis, particularly over the last, I would say, 6 or 7 weeks, than she's ever been in the 65 years that she's been alive.
Wow. So what would you say to someone who's having a hard time making that connection with their loved one?
Sit in a chair, get really, really quiet. Turn the TV off, turn your phone off, be with yourself. That is really, really difficult for people to do. The pain comes up, the thoughts go round and round and round, and they want to figure out, how do I escape that? I'll drink a couple of glasses of wine. I'll take a Xanax or 3. I'll turn the television back on. I'll eat. I'll eat and eat and eat. I'll put Netflix on. Whatever. The hundreds of ways that we can numb ourselves through distraction. Our loved ones are present in this moment. This present moment is where life occurs. This present moment is the point of power. When someone we love dies, we spend a lot of time in the past going over and, oh, why didn't I? If only, oh my, he. And if we don't go in the past, we project into an unlived future.
Yeah.
We project all kinds of crazy stories. When I'm in the present moment, when I'm here and now, that's where I can encounter God. That's where I can encounter my loved one. My loved one is available to me here and now. Sit in a chair, get really, really quiet, and ask this question: where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Keep asking until you get an answer. And I promise you, for 95% of us, this is what will happen. I'm right here. And immediately our head will say, you made that up. That was your imagination. That's wishful thinking. That's how we're programmed. Take a deep breath and say, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Listen, listen.
Wow. Yeah.
I believe our loved ones are right with us, knocking on our door.
Right. Right. Because, like we said before, like the soul, it doesn't die. It has the physical body. And that's another quote that I shared of yours, that we're spiritual beings in a physical existence or having a physical experience. And so when we think about it that way and not thinking that, like me, I don't even really say died. I don't even say that Damani died. I say he passed away or passed on, but the essence of who he is still here, you know? It never will die. And I feel like, you know, and I know in the book, now that's the thing, the reunion, you know, a lot of us say we'll be reunited one day, but you're saying we don't have to wait to be reunited. If we do the sitting with and connecting with them right now, then we can experience them now again, just on a different level.
And this is the path that I took to that knowing. Do I believe in God? I do. Where is God? Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. When my soul leaves my physical body, where does it go? It goes home. It returns to source. It's in the presence of God. Where is God? Everywhere. Where is the soul of your son, of my son? Everywhere. In the presence of the divine. We were all taught this. All things are possible. All things are possible, including our loved ones communicating with us and we communicating with them. I believe that. I am living proof that that is possible.
So how long did it take you to get to like a place of realizing that you were light again, or finding the strength that you can make it? Because like in the early days, it's hard to breathe. It's hard to even brush your teeth or get dressed or eat. Like for me, I went about 20 days without eating solid food. So how did you go from that point of not wanting to live anymore to a person who now is embracing all the fullness that life has?
It took me a long time. This is what I can't adequately explain to people. My 18-month-old daughter died a chaotic, confusing, painful death. I wanted to kill myself. My wife and I had 2 sons following Aaron's death. On New Year's Day of 1999, my 43-year-old wife died. I made the decision to take her off the ventilator. My kids were 3 and 7. I descended into the deepest, darkest, bottomless pit of despair. I was furious, furious, furious. For years, I somehow, some way, crawled my way into the light again. My 13-year-old son was diagnosed with a terminal brain cancer. I was envious because I knew he was going to go on the adventure of a lifetime and I was going to stay here. And I was pretty sure I was going to live. So along the way, I reached for authors. I reached for books. In all honesty, in the fall of '98, I was living in Chicago. Our business was public relations and marketing. I watched the Oprah Winfrey show every morning at 9 a.m. live. And that was when she did Change Your Life TV. She introduced Gary Zukov. She introduced John Gray. She introduced Ian Levin. She introduced all of these powerful, powerful spiritual teachers. And honestly, as my wife Trish was dying in the hospital, I heard a voice inside of my head that said, pay really close attention, Tom, because you're going to tell this story on the Oprah Winfrey show. I said, what? Pay close attention. You're going to tell this story on the Oprah Winfrey show. 4 months later, I'm telling the story on the Oprah Winfrey show. That caught my attention. That really caught my attention. And I said, I want to be surrounded by people that are wiser than me. So it was a gradual reaching for tools and for teachers that would help awaken me. It was a very, very gradual journey over 20 years. It was painful and frustrating. It was 2 steps forward, 17 steps back. You know, I'll be honest with you, the pandemic has been a real blessing for me. It's been a real blessing because it's allowed me to be by myself. And there's been huge personal transformations for me since March.
Like what kind of transformations?
Honestly, my wife, Trish, her role model was Bobby Kennedy. She patterned her life after Bobby Kennedy. Like I said, we were in public relations and marketing. Trish was a voice for the voiceless, a voice for the voiceless. I was not. I was a cool yuppie married to this woman, and I thought, who are you? You know, who at 28 has Bobby Kennedy as her role model? That's who she was. When George Floyd was massacred, my wife was front and center, and she said, you cannot keep your mouth shut. You cannot keep your mouth shut. Speak for both of us. Speak for both of us. And I'm not kidding you. She has been present every single day saying, you be the voice for the voiceless. You go out on a limb. You speak your truth. Save the next one. Save the next one. Save the next one. The Holy Spirit literally said to me on March 31st, I want you to do a daily Facebook Live. I hadn't done a Facebook Live for 18 months. The Holy Spirit says, I want you to do one every single day during this pandemic. The people need you. The people need you. And I thought, it'll last 2 weeks. Okay, I can do it for 2 weeks. For over 90 days, every single day, I went live. And I gave a message of hope, a message of hope, a message of hope. That touched a lot of people, but the person that it touched the most was me. The person that it helped the most was me. So I've become more open. I've become kinder. I've become more gentle. I've become more patient. I've become wiser.
And those are the ways that this process changes and evolves us. You know, like some people, a lot of us say we're broken, we're broken. I said that a lot. And like, it's like we break to evolve, like a caterpillar that goes into the cocoon. You know, it's not an easy process for the caterpillar to become a butterfly. And when we go through this process, it changes us. It changes us into a whole new version of ourselves. Sometimes, like, I looked in the mirror one day and I didn't even recognize myself, not so much physically, but like, I just felt like the person I was looking at was a stranger.
I know that people feel like they are broken. For me, the truth is that it's exactly as you said. We are broken open. We are broken open, but we're not really broken. It's not possible to break light. And we are light. It's not possible. We're broken open. And for most of us, It's only in retrospect that we can understand that. But one of the gifts that I've had is I've done it 3 times. I've done it 3 times. So the second time I was a little bit more aware, but the third time I was definitely aware, and my intention was to be an observer and a participant, so that it wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me.
It was happening for you. Like the experience, what you've gone through is something that basically you can't become who you're supposed to be unless you go through this process.
In retrospect, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. No mistakes have been made. My soul agreed to this. This is the perfect plan for me. Yes, I believe that.
Ooh, we're getting a lot of feedback. Okay. Do you have any electronics close by?
I
Is it
don't.
maybe not your phone? Okay, because mine is turned off. Okay. If someone is in your book, you talked about the people who abandoned us or the people who let us down. And I know that is something that I struggle with a lot. I have, and I've been doing the work to forgive, even when people don't ask for forgiveness, but holding on to that is only going to make me bitter. But I felt like so many people were not here for me. And it was like, for the first month, maybe you have an outpouring of support. And after that month, it was like I was all alone, all alone. Days, weeks would pass where I wouldn't hear another voice except for the ones that live in this house. And I know that's something that a lot of people deal with. And realizing that we can't hold on to that we have to forgive them, because in retrospect, a lot of us did not necessarily understand that the support needed to extend past a month. For people who've experienced things, or to even understand that people want to talk about their loved one on a regular basis. So giving people grace and forgiving them. Did you experience any of that in your process, Tom?
To this day, I experienced that. To this day, I experienced that. And what I've come to believe is, and this is freedom for me, every single human being on the planet is doing exactly what he or she has to do in order to survive. Every single human being, they're doing exactly what they need to do to survive. That's number one. Number two, people tell us exactly who they are. We have to believe them. We have to. The way we do grief in the US, but also in many countries around the world, is when people need us the most, we abandon them. We abandon them. And it's really important that we realize it's not personal. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say the wrong thing. I didn't act the wrong way. People's response to me has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. The truth is, when I'm in your presence and you're honestly experiencing your grief, you bring up grief in me. You unearth, you stir up really uncomfortable feelings that I've spent my whole life stuffing. It's painful. I don't want to hang out with you anymore. I don't want to hang out with you more, because when I'm with you, I feel alive. I feel alive. And most human beings are scared to death of actually feeling alive. Feeling alive means being open to the whole range of emotions. And grief, loneliness, sadness, despair, anxiety, it's all part of being human. Most people are told to take a pill for that. Take a pill.
Right.
Take a pill.
To numb it and get it to go away. But really what you're describing is leaning into it and experiencing it, letting it be.
It's a teacher. It's a profound, powerful, powerful teacher. Part of being life, being alive.
Right. I definitely think that I'm a much more enlightened person than I was before this. And I feel, sometimes I'm like, is this a dream or was I really asleep before? And now I'm like more awake. And then when I transition, I'll be even more enlightened and more awake. It's really interesting. I feel like, you remember like on The Matrix and how Neo, how when he realized that he was the one, how everything started moving in slow motion and people that he couldn't even fight and beat before, now he was able to do it with one hand. That's how like I see codes as I'm looking around the world. I just see things so differently. It just seems like I was in the Matrix before, and now I've taken, I guess, what was it, the red or the blue pill, and now I'm actually living what real life is, the reality.
So I don't believe in coincidence. You and I already have a January birthday connection. My son Rory's favorite movie of all time is The Matrix. And when he was about 11, he sat me down and he said, Daddy, I want you to watch this movie. It's really, really complex. It's really complicated. So I'm going to stop it every so often. And I'm going to ask you some questions to see if you really, really understand what it's about. So Rory walked me through the movie that you just described. But yes, the universe is continually expanding. That's a fact. The universe is continually expanding. And when we're aligned with the universe, we too are continually expanding. We have free will. And when someone we love dies, there's a community of grievers out there that encourage us to contract, to turn inward, to stop. The first year is horrible. The second year is even worse. You will never, ever be happy again. There is a hole in your heart that will never heal. The death of the child is the worst death. It's so unnatural. All of that is about lack, subconsciously choosing pain, not expanding, but contracting. That is the old way to do grief. But I want to make it really clear. I'm not saying there's a right way or there's a wrong way, or there's a good way or there's a bad way. From my personal experience, there's a really, really painful way, and there's a way that leads to peace, joy, radiance, and expansion. I choose the peaceful way. That's what I teach.
Right. And by looking at it differently, by looking at death, because I was on the phone with a mom the other day and it was like, we were thinking about something that she said. And I said, well, that's because sometimes we look at death as the punishment. And if we don't look at it as a punishment, if we look at like a lot of scripture and a lot of things that we've been taught our whole lives, is like, that is to be at peace, right? Rest in peace, RIP, is to be in peace. So why do we look at it as something that is supposed to be a punishment for the person that left?
This is one of the biggest beefs with Christianity. We are taught there is a God. We are taught that God is in heaven. We are taught that when we die, we're reunited with God. Why is that a punishment? Why is that a bad thing? When someone leaves the physical body, is reunited with God, why weren't we taught that we should be cheering? Yay, yay, they're so lucky, they're so lucky. They returned home. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. It's like people go to church every Sunday. What do you guys actually believe? What do you actually believe? There's a disconnect.
But I think it's like, I guess, the human part of us to like a reflex, a reflexive action. You know, even if we're trying to believe that, sometimes we're bracing ourselves and not allowing ourselves to believe that because it causes more pain.
I believe it's because of what we've been taught, and I believe it's what we've inhaled through television, through movies, through books, through songs. It's a collective cultural belief that we've been taught. I don't believe that we came in fearing death. We've been taught to fear death.
And a person's death is going to be right on time. Is that your belief? It's not something that we're going to speed up or have any control over.
This God that I believe is holding me lovingly, the same way you held your son. If you were all powerful, as you're holding your son, you would let nothing happen to your son at the wrong time or in the wrong way. That's the God that I believe in. The God is that loving and kind and compassionate and powerful. Nothing occurs to my God's children at the wrong time or in the wrong way. Now, do I completely understand it? I don't. It's a mystery. I'm not supposed to. I'm here on this planet. But I believe that when I leave my physical body and I'm reunited with that God, I'm going to go, oh, yes, yes, this makes perfect sense. Yes, yes, yes. And I'll tell you, I get glimpses of it now. I get glimpses of it now. We were talking earlier, when I raise my vibrational level to the highest healing level of light that I possibly can, I get glimpses of that which is the divine. I call it my optimal life. I get glimpses of it. That's okay for me right now.
Wow. Yeah. And I think I get glimpses too. And sometimes I think what you say about what we've been taught, it's like you feel like one day you'll feel good, or you feel like I can embrace this life, you know, I can accept this, I can surrender. And then a couple of days later, that voice in your head will tell you that, you know, it's not going the way, you know, it's not worth it. It's too much work. And I found that when we don't do the work, so like if I'm not being still, you know, being present with myself, doing my meditations, if I don't go on walks and things like that, don't go out and embrace nature, then I feel way heavier. I feel more pain on those days. But if I'm intentional and I'm doing my meditation and I'm, you know, being okay with feeling my feelings, not hiding from my feelings, not trying to hide tears, not trying to conform to what other people expect of me, and numbing myself, then those are the days that I feel better.
So what is that healing occurs in my heart. Healing occurs in my heart. It does not occur in my head. My head will do whatever it has to do to keep the status quo the status quo. My head does not want change. My head is comfortable with whatever's occurring right now, even if it's incredible, incredible pain. So my head will always try to bring me back here, bring me back here. My heart is what allows me to lean in, what allows me to expand. The truth of the matter is, when the pain arises and I don't numb it, I honor it, I see it, I'm with it. The pain gives me an opportunity to say, I'm going to choose something else. I'm going to go out. I see you, pain. I see you. You're a powerful teacher. I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to do the singing bowl. I'm going to go in a hot bath. I'm going to go outside and walk in nature. I'm going to make another choice, raise my vibrational level, and bring in peace. Pain isn't to be avoided. It's a really, really powerful teacher. Pain, I don't want to marinate in pain anymore. I want to see it, I want to honor it, and I want to move in a different direction. And yes, to me, it reminds me of when you're learning yoga for the first time. It's a daily practice. You know, you have to look at the instructor. What's the name of the pose? Where does my hand go? Where does my elbow go? But after 10 days, you get it. You know, it becomes, okay, this is who I am. I'm in the rhythm of it. So now, if pain creeps in, immediately I'm like, I see you. This is not the direction I'm going to move in. I'm going to make another choice.
Right. Make another choice. Change the way that we, the beliefs that we're holding on to. Allow pain to exist. Definitely, definitely. I know one thing on the other side of pain, though, is that numbness. And that's something that I think is harder to control, I'd say. Like sometimes I just feel numb. I don't feel anything.
Okay. So when the numbness arises, it's a gift. It's there to protect you. This God that I believe in designed this physical body that we're in that is more sophisticated than the latest iPhone, more sophisticated than whatever the latest computer is. Our soul that was in the light, surrounded by love, dropped into this body for a finite period of time. Our body is so sophisticated, it's so divinely designed. It knows it's time to go numb. It's time to stop all of the circuits so you can rest. So when you feel the numbness, you have many choices. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm a failure. I hate this numbness. This numbness is going to last the rest of my life. I probably need an antidepressant. I should probably eat 12 cookies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or you could say, I'm feeling numb. I'm going to meet that with gentleness, with kindness, with understanding. I'm going to slow down a little bit. When I decide to do that, I am a gentle, kind, understanding human being who for the moment is feeling numb. The kind, gentle, understanding human being, the vibrational level begins to rise. It begins to rise. So I'm attracting more kindness, more gentleness, more understanding. The numbness has a purpose. It's a teacher. It's a pointer. It's saying, do something differently. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense. Yes. Yes, because even in the early days that, I would have like intense pain and then days in between of like a calm. And I realized that that was by design, like basically what you just described, that it was like, I knew I couldn't make it going in that intense pain for like when you're at that breaking point, like I can't do one more day like this. And then all of a sudden there'll be a sense of calm, like, the wave recedes and then it gives you a chance to put your head up above the water, catch your breath. And then those waves come again and it takes you under, but it wasn't to where I was completely submerged underwater constantly.
So the invitation, the opportunity is through this indescribable pain, we can experience, most of us probably for the first time in our lives, how much we truly are deeply loved. We are deeply, deeply loved by a God that has our back, has always had our back, by a God who creates life for us. It's for us in every moment, in every moment, in every moment. And I know there's someone listening saying, that's easy for you to say. I found my child hanging in his or her bedroom. My child was savagely murdered. My daughter was raped and set on fire. I get all of that. I get all of that. And the first question that I believe we have to ask is there a God? And if there is a God, what is it? What is it? Everything that I am is rooted in my conscious decision to believe in a God that is love, that is love, is a divine, expansive, incomprehensible love.
Right. Wow. God is love. And I think
It's so simple, but it's so complex. It's like none of human beings we don't have a clue what real love is. We don't have a clue. Those of us that are blessed, we're blessed.
Well, I think that this experience teaches us what real love is too. You know, we are awakened to love on a whole different level. You know, I feel like I'm a better person.
Only because you said yes. Only because you said yes. The majority of people are still saying no, 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 no. The majority of people, like you said, are not saying, I hope I live to 100. The majority of people aren't saying, oh, I'm so grateful I'm alive. I love to wake up every morning.
Now, I will admit, I still struggle with that. I'm gonna be honest. I stay in the day. If I start thinking about 20 years from now, it's overwhelming still, but I'm doing a really good job just staying in the day and saying, I'm going to live fully and I can embrace and I can smile and I can have moments of peace and joy in this day. I don't know.
And your son has been dead for 18 months. My son left his body 15 years ago. I've had a lot of time to sit and to think and to become. My hope is just by our conversation, I can paint a picture for you about what's possible, about what is possible. My hope is you don't have to wait 15 years. Maybe you just have to wait 21 months.
Right.
And the truth is, you will determine the speed at which you heal. It's up to you.
Now, okay, I'm glad you said that because when we were doing the book club, someone said that, you know, in one of the comments that they did not, they're having a hard time embracing that concept that we determine the speed at which we heal. Can you address that?
Absolutely. And I understand that person's thoughts and feelings. I really, really do. And I honor them. And as long as that is true for her or him, that will be that person's experience. That's what they will create. Every single pain that arises in us is rooted, it's seated in a belief. Every time I feel pain, if I'm willing to sit with it, dive into it, there's a belief there, either on a conscious or a subconscious level. And 99.9% of the belief that we hold on to are lies. They're lies. So when I bring the painful belief into the light, I can shift it. I can shift it. I can shift it. I can do that in 3 months. I can do that in 3 years, in 13 years, in 30 years, or 103 years. It's completely up to me. Is that a revolutionary idea? Yes, yes, yes. The subtitle of my book, A New Way to Do Grief, which creates a new way to do life. That's what I'm here to teach. It's all new.
So when you talk about the new way to do life, like a big thing that a lot of people going through grief, you know, talk about is finding purpose, a purpose for living. Their child was their purpose. You know, the person now they see no purpose for their life moving forward. What would you say to someone who's experiencing that?
So it's interesting because I thought that my third book was going to be a book called Living Your Optimal Life. which was going to address that. But the Holy Spirit said, no, actually, your third book is called Original Lie. So I'm almost done with my third book.
Wow.
But this is how I would briefly address that. We each came to the planet to live what I call our optimal life. In my 10 things that I learned in the 10 years since Rory died, it's number one. It's number one, those 10 things. It's posted on my Facebook page today, actually. So none of us came here to suffer. That's not why we were created. That's not why we incarnated. That's not why we were here. We came to remove all the nonsense that's been piled up on us, and we came to shine our light as brightly as we possibly can. We came to live our optimal life. Like energy attracts like energy. I didn't make that up. That's physics. Like attracts like. When I can raise my vibrational level to the level of my optimal life, I don't have to go after my optimal life. My optimal life comes to me. I become a magnet and I attract my optimal life. So I might not know the details of my optimal life, but if I allow myself to sit in a chair and start daydreaming. Remember when we used to daydream when we were kids?
Yeah.
You know, like 4 and 5 and 6? Just
Yeah.
daydream. Okay, my son's dead. My daughter passed away. If I was living my optimal life, what would that feel like? What would it feel like if I was living my optimal life? I'm going to ask you, if you were actually living your optimal life, what would that feel like?
It would feel no turmoil. It would feel peaceful. It would feel like a breath of fresh air, you know? It would feel so just fulfilling. I feel like I know, and I'm breathing and I'm smiling because I know I've had moments of it. I've had moments of it. And I think,
Give me 2 more words that really clearly describe the feeling. Let me tell you what you said so far. No turmoil. It would feel peaceful. You would feel like a breath of fresh air. It would feel fulfilling. How else would you feel as you are walking around living your optimal life? How do you feel?
and I feel purposeful,
What?
and infectious.
Okay. So close your eyes and picture yourself feeling infectious, feeling purposeful. See if you can see yourself. You're fulfilled. You are literally a breath of fresh air. You are at peace. There is no turmoil. Tell me, what kind of shoes are you wearing? What kind of shoes are you wearing?
I'm wearing tennis shoes.
Are you wearing any jewelry?
No,
What clothes are you wearing?
T-shirt and pants,
What color's the t-shirt?
black,
Are the pants long pants or shorts?
long. They're
Okay.
fitted long pants.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So this is what I would want you to do. I would want you to get a piece of paper and say, I am living my optimal life. I am infectious. I am purposeful. I am fulfilled. I am a breath of fresh air. I am peaceful. There is no turmoil. I am wearing tennis shoes. I am wearing a black t-shirt, and I am wearing long pants. You write that on a piece of paper. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. You sit in your chair. Maybe it's outside on a porch. Maybe it's your comfortable chair on your deck, in your living room, in your bedroom. And you allow yourself to literally go into that. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. In the same way, I could see it on your face. In the same way that you felt this today, I want you to feel that picture that you painted for me. What you're doing is you are intentionally, consciously raising your vibrational level. This is science. This isn't a myth.
Right.
Like
Right.
attract like. You vibrate at that level. I do it for a week. I promise you. Pay attention to who you bump into at the store. Pay attention to who emails you, who calls you, who you get a letter from. The people, the circumstances, the opportunity will come to you. That's how it works.
You
Feel it.
are so right. And you know, it's so funny because I saw it so clearly because it is actually, and when you say do it for a week, I talked myself out of it a few times because I used to do speaking, you know, public speaking, motivational speaking, where, you know, it's a whole nother conversation. I hate motivational stuff now because it's, to me, a facade. It's like surface level. But I am now starting to allow myself to speak again. And when I saw it, it was me, a talk that I went and did with a team a week ago. And I felt all of those things. I felt so alive. But the beliefs in our head is like, you know, well, should I be doing this yet? You know, or, you know,
Yes,
is it okay for me to do this?
yes, because you will determine the speed at which you heal. We want you to heal really, 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 really quickly. We don't. How much longer do you want to suffer? A mother whose 17-year-old son died 18 months ago, what? Should you suffer 3 more months? 12 more months? 2 more years? What? You will determine the speed at which you heal. And I'll tell you this, your head will hold you back. Who do you think you are? What will they think? They think you don't really love him that much. How could you be up on this stage? You must have been a horrible, horrible mother. It'll all, don't pay any attention to it. It's here in your heart. Your heart recognizes the truth. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. This is where the connection is with your son. He's saying, come on, mom. Come on, mom. You can do it. You can do it. I'm with you. I'm with you. I will be by your side. I know who you are. The roles have reversed. I'm the teacher now. I'm the parent now. I'm the wise one. I'll take your hand when you're nervous. Follow me, follow me, follow me. He's the coach. Welcome to the coach.
Right, right. Wow. Whew. That exercise is very, very invigorating. I'm glowing. I
You
feel
know
it.
what? You know what? Your light is shining, and this is what it feels like to be radiant. I want you to watch this over again. You are. I mean, this light is radiating from you because you know it's truth. You know it's the truth. You
Right,
recognize the truth.
right,
All I am is a messenger. I'm the messenger. The information's coming through me to you. And you
right,
recognize it. You recognize it. You're like,
right.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. That is the truth. I knew that. I
It's
knew.
crazy because there's so much that like I wrote on my blog. And then when I was reading your book, I was like, oh my gosh, because like you say, I feel like I'm the messenger. Sometimes when I'm writing, like I'll have days that I wake up and all I can do is just write. It's just coming out of me. It's not necessarily me. It's not coming from my head, but it's just, I'm being channeled. The energy is being channeled through me. And yeah, I try my best to just be a conduit, you know?
And keep saying yes. Keep saying yes.
So let's take a few questions. Does anybody have any questions, any comments? Wow. Very profound. Jewel, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Powerful words, Kathleen. Does anyone have a question for Tom that he can answer while he's here? Bianca said being awakened is a great description. Yes, I feel like we all are being awakened. And it was interesting in your book when you talked about how there was one page and it said, even if you had hidden the gun or if you took the drugs away or if you took all of these steps, that it was not going to necessarily change anything. That was very profound, because I know a lot of the pain that most of the moms that I talk to is because they're holding on to the guilt or the feeling that they could have changed the outcome.
That is a really, really arrogant position to take. They're not that powerful. Not one of us was powerful enough to save our loved ones. That's the way it is. We're not that powerful.
My smile and laugh has returned. I'm grateful. Yes, I agree, Rhonda. For a long time, my smile, it was not real. Even when I could muster up a smile, it was not real. And now I'm starting to feel like I can smile again. I'm so grateful that you have been able to smile and laugh again, Rhonda. And in your book, you say give ourselves permission to smile.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I promise you, our beloveds are smiling, and that's what they wish for us. They don't miss us. They're not in pain. They don't feel like they got cheated. They didn't leave at the wrong time. They're in the presence of the divine. They want us to be light. They want us to remember that we are light.
Right. That's the good news, that we're not that powerful, that we're not that powerful.
Yes, thank God we're not that powerful. Can you imagine what this world would be like if we had the power to decide, when people exit their bodies?
Wow. Yeah, I don't want that kind of power. I don't. This is enough responsibility just living and moving forward with purpose, finding my light again. And I don't want the power to control life and death.
No, me neither.
But I mean, I guess that was another realization too, because we feel like our kids are ours, our loved ones are ours. And I realized that I was not. Like I told Damani so many times that I'm in charge of you. I'm in control of you. I'm supposed to keep you safe. And once this happened, I realized how untrue all of that was. Yes, I had a part to play in it, but I was not the one controlling whether he was safe or not.
And if you believe, like I do, that every step that he took, he was being lovingly held. Every step. Every step. You couldn't be there, but the divine was there.
Right. Peace, not pain. And I have found that sometimes peace and pain can coexist. I love to go and meditate. I meditate on rocks. So there's a little lake that has like a bed of rocks. Actually, my profile picture, I'm meditating on those rocks. And I do that because I remind myself that I can be uncomfortable and be at peace at the same time. So meditating on rocks where you're being poked and, it's not a soft bed or a soft carpet, but I'm still able to allow that to exist. That discomfort is not a part of me. It's not in me. It is just something that I'm feeling externally, and I can still retreat within myself and be at complete peace, regardless of what's going on outside of me. So peace and pain.
The rocks do not know the light that you are.
Right. Resolving remorse and regret and becoming radiant is true freedom. Yeah, absolutely. I like the thought of feeling free, freedom from carrying on my shoulders all the negative thoughts and pain. Whew, feels good to let it go. Wow. Yes. Yes. Well, any last comments, Tom, before we close out?
Yes. As I said, I recognized you the minute I heard your voice and saw the light in your eyes. I really, really appreciate the time that we spent together. I feel like I got to know you more. And my hope is that this is the beginning, that somehow, some way, we will stay connected and that we will work together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I appreciate you and you saying yes, and for all that you're doing by walking an example. Anybody can stand on a stage and tell people how they should feel or how to heal from something, but for you to basically let your life be an open book. You know, you write books, but you also live the pages of a book every day that you share pieces of yourself with us. And for me, early in the process, that's the thing that I searched for immediately. I started looking for people who had lived this and survived it, and not only survived it, but learned to thrive again, learned to live full lives again. So I was attracted to you and attracted to people who were able to do that. So I thank you for doing that and showing us that we do not have to suffer the rest of the days that we're here. So I appreciate you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This will be, what a gift to see her shining. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. I'm so grateful for all of you guys. Before we get off, also, I want to encourage everybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I got so caught up, I didn't even say it at the beginning, but subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I have several videos of me reading from Tom's books, as well as interviews with other people who have survived and have learned to thrive again after the loss of someone, the physical presence of someone that they love. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you again, Tom. And I definitely hope to work with you again soon. I have some things I want to talk to you about offline. Also, before we get off, can you tell people about your holidays retreat and the retreat in October?
Yes. So my website is my name, Tom Zuba. Autocorrect often shows it as Zumba. You know, the exercise Zumba. It's not Zumba. It's Zuba. So tomzuba.com. I'm doing a 22-day holiday program where a group of us will literally online, hand in hand in hand, will walk day by day by day through the holidays. You can find information about that at my website. And I'm also doing what I think will be a really, really enjoyable online weekend retreat. I believe it's the first weekend in October. And my guest is the author of a book called The A to Z Healing Toolbox. I wrote the foreword to the book, and we're going to share very practical, doable, concrete things you can incorporate into your life to consciously heal, to heal a little bit more every day. So I have a newsletter, and if you subscribe to my newsletter, the invitation is on the very first page of my website. You'll get this information on a timely basis so you can register for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. And go ahead and continue to leave comments, because I will continue to respond to comments. And I've seen Tom is very good at responding to comments as well. Thank you so much. And I wish you all love, peace, and light as you continue to travel this journey, to continue to heal along the way. And like Tom said, heal a little bit more each day. You can find Tom, like he said, at tomzuba.com. And also my blog can be found at doitfordamani.com, because I do everything for Damani. And I share my grief journey, my healing journey. And I've also documented my healing journey on the YouTube channel. There's a really nice video of a turning point in my grief process, which was my trip to Costa Rica and me saying yes, me learning to say yes and to smile again and to connect with nature and to find purpose once again. So check that out on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Tom, so much for everything. And thank you for being a blessing.
You're
Peace,
welcome.
love, and light, everybody.
Okay, good.
Thank you.